celebrating 1 year on YouTube. But now with this new setup, I can do some things that I couldn't do in my early videos. Couldn't show stuff to you visually. That's my new setup. This video here, kind of a redo. Remember all the stuff you got to see about the city of Pittsburgh? Well, I get to show you some of what I was talking about. Let's go to work. And it is great to have you with us. I appreciate every single solitary second you get a chance to jump on the channel, and we get to do more and more stuff because once again, like I said, we are here 1 year live and in living color here on JJ Sessions, Jimmy Jam Sessions, however you want to name it, because if you do want to see more of this stuff, I can honestly pray and just hope and pray you get a chance. Hit that subscribe button, that way you will see more down in the future. 1 year, and let's just keep it going. Let's just keep it going. So the gist of this video here is pretty much something that I actually get a chance to do, and probably will have some sort of an itinerary down the road for myself to do down as I continue to progress the channel. Now that I have a little bit of a different setup with a second monitor, I'm not using the major microphone right on here because I'm right here on my laptop. I get to show you different stuff. I'm not doing any stupid food reviews or anything like that. I get to show you stuff that I couldn't do in my earlier videos. Now, if you want to get a laugh and see me just blasting through a mic and on my phone or whatnot, by all means, I didn't do too bad as a newbie. Some videos did all right. Some still, someday down the road they will blow up. But one video I did that only got probably like 26 views. Big deal, right? But it was about the history pretty much of what Pittsburgh, the city that I'm pretty much the closest to. I'm in central Pennsylvania, but I grew up as a diehard Penguins fan, like the Pirates, with the worst owner in the league. And even though I do like the Steelers, most people around here know I'm a diehard Falcons fan, but I do support the Steelers. So, any event, if in case you don't know about everything else that's going on in the world, I get to show you that right now. Now, you inform me that, of course, the Pitt Panthers are there, and, Pitt and Penn State used to have rivalries a long time ago. I don't hate Pitt, so that's a good thing. But I do show you a lot of different stuff that Pittsburgh used to have and what Pittsburgh should start thinking about. Like down the road, now we're in 2024, halfway in, trying to get to 2025, and there should be a lot of different things coming down the way because people want different things and other things to do besides the Steelers, the Penguins, and the Pirates. And a lot of people in Pittsburgh do know we hope and pray someday that may happen. And for me, it's a 2.5 hour drive just to get there. But I start here with these boys, and they've been around actually since the end of the actual century. They've been around since 1999, as you can see, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Now, they, at one point, were a Columbus Crew affiliate. Now they're the USL, which is the second tier of the MSL of Major League Soccer. I keep praying they're going to get to MLS someday. Play an actor, sure. Don't be an idiot. Or find some land up in Tarentum or like down in Washington or something or on the outskirts of Monaca or Greensburg or whatever. Build a 20,000 seat arena and play. But these guys play in Highmark, a small riverside soccer pitch right outside the river, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Seats 7,000. It's all they need. And these guys, they perform well. They've gone to a couple major playoffs. They had a nice little playoff run. They were a quarterfinalist in the U.S. Open Cup a couple of years ago, and the team wants to get in the MLS for real. And why the heck not? I have yet to go to a game. I hope someday down the road. It's a fun ticket to go to. Now, they do have soccer, but while I'm at it, I have to simply just go through and you know what? They're going to go soccer, but I also inform you they also had other stuff. Now, I show this because they had indoor lacrosse. This was the Pittsburgh Bulls, and this was just a picture of a program that they did back in the day. Now, they were around for a handful of years in the early 90s, and then I don't know why. They have the dullest logo I've ever seen, and that was just that word mark. That was it. And then they had another little deal called Pittsburgh Crossfire that only lasted like a year and a half or two. These guys didn't last that long, but indoor lacrosse is now majorly. It's starting to pick up again, and there's big markets: Buffalo, Denver, Toronto, Ottawa, Rochester, New York had one, a couple other big cities, and Buffalo's the biggest one. They get 18,000 a game, and we're just down south of Buffalo. So indoor lacrosse would not be a bad thing to have back in PPG. It would be really really awesome to see. It's a pack. It picks up. Now I bring you this because if you are Generation X, you are a sports fan, you'll know what this is. That's the Pittsburgh Gladiators. They were one of the original floor arena football teams, and they played in the old igloo. They played in the old igloo in Mellon Arena. Now they were one of the original four with I believe it was like Chicago, Detroit, and Denver, I think. But they used to play in this building with the gigantic nets at the end, and they got some fans. They got like 8 to 10,000 a game, and and indoor football is kind of a little bit on a it's there's not really a huge thing on indoor football because there's too many leagues. I don't know why you just can't morph everything together because people want this and that. There's like three leagues and nobody knows where to go to. And some of them are the biggest staples. And then down the road, I remember this because there was these people, the Pittsburgh Power, they came back and they came back in the league around 2003. I kid you, to about 2003 to 2006, I think it was. They had a 3, 4, 5, 6 year run where they were a playoff team, and they did pack about 8 to 12,000 a game in PPG, and then they just folded. They just did not. They didn't sell very well, and plus the economy for arena football started going downhill, and that's why arena football quit and whatever. I mean, there's more stories to it. That's why there's three leagues and nobody knows which is best, and three of them are. And there's a lot of big staples. I could go in there. That could be a whole different episode. But people miss arena football. People miss stuff that goes in PPG or what used to be in Mellon Arena many years ago. And this was another one. Indoor soccer was huge. And the Pittsburgh Spirit were one of them. I don't believe they won a championship, but they wore these funkadelic yellow long sleeve polo shirts with the collar. That was the old 80s. The early 70s, mid 80s is how long they survived to. It was a fun ticket. It was such a fun ticket to go to. And they played with the old soft orange ball. The old school soccer ball with the hexagons but it was orange and it was disgusting. But I miss arena soccer, major indoor soccer. That was a big staple. Go look it up if you ever miss it. And then they try to come back for a little bit with these boys, the Pittsburgh Stingers. And they came back in the now defunct CISL, which was the Continental Indoor Soccer League. And that was a weird league, too, because it was fun. It was MLS, basically, pretty much jacked up. Because at that league, it had a 2-point line. If you kicked outside of an arc, it was 2 points. And these guys only lasted like a year and a half, 2 years or something like that. But it was fun to watch. Indoor soccer is so much fun to watch, and I miss playing it. He played it eons ago. But these are some things that Pittsburgh could have. Make a petition. Bring some stuff back. And I bring this piece up because there was the Pittsburgh Condors. I did a big skit about a long time ago. It's still on my thing somewhere of should Pittsburgh have NBA. Now, the Pittsburgh Condors were there in the ABA. I bring these guys. They were the Pittsburgh Ironmen. They were the ones that originally were there in 1946, 47. They only lasted a year, and they were god-awful. But I still bring this up, and you saw a little peek of that. I'll bring this up in a second. We remember that there was a team called the Pittsburgh Pipers, and there was a team called the Pisces, which was part of a Hollywood skit that they did for a movie called The Fish That's I believe it was The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh or something like that. You'd have to go look it up. It was in the mid '70s, and it starred a bunch of NBA stars. But there's a lot of people that still think that Pittsburgh can hold their own for an NBA franchise. And I've heard stories. I've heard people messaging me on Facebook saying they're talking about this, and that. I've seen Instagram stuff that says Pittsburgh is looking into research of bringing NBA and WNBA, which I'll believe that when I see it. But it's really really tough to find. And I saw this, and I tell you what, now if they did bring them back, I think the Condors would be great. I saw this little concept that was done on NBA 2K17 or something like that. Tell you what, I'll tell you what. Whoever wants to put a $500 million in for a thing and try and when the NBA decides to ever thinks about expanding to 36 or something, all right, put your name in. I'll believe it when I see it. But this concept's not too bad. I can't remember who did this, and it was on a Google search, but this is pretty cool. Whoever did this, not bad. Now then, I'm also going to throw this up because one time I did something and I completely forgot about these boys. And I'm going to try to zoom this in because I did the video and I completely forgot. It's the Pittsburgh Phantoms. These guys were Roller Hockey International, and it was the Roller Hockey League that they actually played in the same buildings as the NHL. There's a mosquito somewhere, but I missed them when I forgot to talk about them, and that was fun. It only lasted like 2 years, but they're weird colors. They had purple and a little bit of purple and orange in there. It was weird, and the original Pittsburgh Maulers were purple and orange too. I remember those, and that I missed some of this stuff. This in the leagues like this, they don't do these anymore very much. And then I completely forgot about this. People don't know this. There was a women's football league, and there still is. But Pittsburgh had a team. It was I believe it was in the early 2010s or mid 2010s, called the Rebellion, and it was part of the old lingerie football league, the old LFL, and then they changed it to the XFL, or like X or Extreme League, or the Extreme Football League, and now it's called the Xleague. And amazingly enough, if you actually look it up, there's only like 8 teams, and those teams sell. That like they get people that like they actually get people in the stands. Like I think the team in Los Angeles, they don't play in Staples, but they play in Ontario, in Ontario, California, and they get they cut off the upper bowl and they get like 6, 7, 8,000 a game. So, but Pittsburgh, they had a team called the Rebellion, and they were purple and gold, or excuse me, black and gold, and they played actually in Highmark. They didn't play it in an arena at the time, so amazingly enough, this stuff did exist. And I will say this: I'm not necessarily saying because I'm a guy, but I never got a chance to see one in person. But this was one of the fun things that you see. So, in a way of speaking, I throw this at you for the city of Pittsburgh. Like the last time I did this, I'm like, do you want some of this stuff to come back? Because you see all these other cities blowing up just because they have it. They have all this stuff, like in Dallas and LA and New York. Like we're not Philly. Like we're not Philly, Miami, and all these big cities that almost get everything. Like, do you want it like somebody wants Pittsburgh to get a WNBA team so they can see Caitlin Clark? Not a bad idea, but does Pittsburgh have the infrastructure to bring this stuff back? Put Find a couple brokers, find a couple people that will be like, hey, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see this. It gives you more stuff to go to, more stuff in the city to do. Pittsburgh only has in the big four the Steelers, the Penguins, and the Pirates. If you include the MLS, they don't have that either, but they do have a soccer team that does sell. People in Pittsburgh, what would you like to see come back in any way, shape, or form? This video is pretty much a redo and a focal point of, hey, do you want to see something else come to Pittsburgh? That is on you. Put a comment in, throw something in some way, shape, or form of what you want to see back, and would you support it? I still have a lot of people that still believe they can support an NBA team. And that video is still on my thing. Go find it. But if you still think that Pittsburgh, the city, the Steel City, City of Bridges, or whatever, can bring and have more of this stuff back, and should they use PPG more often, that's PPG Paints Arena where the Penguins play, throw a comment in, do something, throw something in to support the city of Pittsburgh. That's what this video is about, and I'm glad you got a chance to watch. You made it to the end of this video. You know I appreciate that. Thumbs up, throw a like on there, throw a comment of, like I said, what would you like to see Pittsburgh bring back? I'm going to enjoy trying to redo some of my videos that I did so I can show more stuff here. And as always, I do appreciate you hanging out. There is the thing, like I said, do me a favor before you head out and go do whatever it is you guys want to do tonight, wherever, however you do, hit that subscribe button so you get to see more of the lovely stuff that I'm going to be getting a chance to kind of redo, reinvent, and reincarnate some of the videos that I did back in the day and make them better. Definitely hit that button because I can definitely see Bloody Legends back here in the next one. And as always, the bar is closed. Go Steel City. I'll see you all when I see you.